The iPad Pro is amazing. However, the iPad has been somewhat of a controversial machine. Is it a tablet or is it a computer? Well, with the release of the Magic Keyboard for the iPad Pro, it's starting to become a bit more obvious. Whoever you ask, the general consensus is that this is a great machine. It's easy to use, the software support is amazing, the screen is really smooth and colorful, and the performance is ridiculous for a tablet. The Geekbench score on my iPad Pro is 33% higher than my 2017 quad-core MacBook Pro. Crazy. The ability to use your iPad with a keyboard and trackpad truly makes this feel like a laptop experience. Initially, it did feel unusual as it was my first time using a trackpad on an iPad, but this is something I got used to over time. The keyboard is actually really good, but it's still not as good in my opinion as the keyboards that come with the desktop Macs. But I do think it's better than the Smart Folio keyboard of the last gen iPads. The key sizing is great, however, some of the keys on the side such as delete, enter, tilde, and tab are substantially shorter, which made me misclick a couple of times. But I also think this is something you can get used to over time. There are a couple of annoying things with this keyboard though. 1. There is no volume shortcut. Instead, you have to drag the cursor onto the top right of the screen to open Control Center, and from there you can click and drag to raise and lower the volume. 2. You can't click and drag to select text. You have to click the text, then click select, and then move those two little things on the sides of the text. It's a little annoying, but let's talk about some other features. The tilt of the iPad is really good. When you're laying down, you can adjust the tilt to just the right angle to maybe make your Netflix and chill sessions a bit more comfortable, but using it on your lap is also pretty comfortable. So how much does this experience cost? So I paid $300 for this keyboard, and that's quite a lot of money for a keyboard. So is it worth it? Well, if you're someone who wants to have a more laptop experience with your iPad Pro, and you type a lot with your iPad, then I do think this is worth it. But if you're just casually using your iPad for some lighter tasks, I think you might be able to go the route of using a Bluetooth keyboard and Bluetooth mouse. Personally, I thought that I would be using this keyboard as more of a dock, but after using it more and more, I've actually been using it a lot on the go. Whether that's changing my environment up and moving to my couch to get some typing done, or when I'm laying in bed at night watching some YouTube videos and messaging some of my friends. I am using this a lot more than my MacBook because I'm getting more of my intensive tasks done on my Hackintosh. But for lighter tasks that only require some typing, I bring my iPad around. Also, for those of you who are editing a lot with your iPad Pro with LumaFusion or maybe even iMovie, I do think that this keyboard and trackpad can speed up your workflow. So there is one demographic that I wouldn't recommend this keyboard to, and that's artists. I feel like the dock limits you from moving your drawing surface, which I think would in turn slow down your creative process. I could be wrong though, so if you're an artist who does use the keyboard and feel like it doesn't limit your creative process, comment that down below. But for the majority of people, the only negative that comes with this keyboard is the cost. However, once you jump over that hurdle of price, I don't think you'll be disappointed with your purchase. So in the end, the deciding factor is whether or not you can sacrifice portability. Think about how much you need portability in your current workflow, and then decide from there. So will I be keeping this keyboard? For me personally, I think the pros of the keyboard outweigh the cons, as I can sacrifice a bit of portability. I am not a full-time artist, but when I need to draw, I can just take the iPad off of the dock and use the Apple Pencil with it. I think the typing experience is actually selling it for me, and the trackpad experience is also really good. When I first got the keyboard, I was a bit skeptical as to whether or not I would actually like it, but after a couple days of using it, I think I'm going to be using my iPad a lot more nowadays, so I think it's worth it for me. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If I missed some shortcuts and gestures, please also let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, I'll see y'all in the next video.